Hello, human realm. My name is Raine Whispers, and I'm the head witch of the Bard Coven and an incredibly talented rebel. Ida was supposed to be here with me to introduce the show, but she's too busy, hunting for creepers and redstone? Whatever that means. Probably has something to do with that square game thing that King and Luz have been playing. Anyway, I'm here to welcome you all to the Season 2 Owl House Hooty Awards! This season was full of tension, surprises, and wonderful new characters such as a certain bard who's speaking right now. The show hosts Crowned Cryptid, Tipsy, Tulip, and Chan will be ranking their favorite aspects from Season 2 in various categories, like Best Episode, Worst Episode, Best Character, and much more. I expect all the best episodes will be the ones that I'm in. Not to dismiss any other episode, but, only one episode had a heartfelt musical duet. But I guess that's not up to me to decide. So, let's get this show started. Hope you enjoy. Thanks for watching. Bye!
All right, here we are at the Hooty Awards. I need to get our intro music going real quick. Let me get that.
Happy birthday to you.
That's the wrong music. That's the wrong music. Okay. All right, there we go. Okay. Welcome to the second ever Hooty Awards. My co-host and I will be giving various awards to our favorite and least favorite things from the Owl House Season 2. I should have said something more specific than just things, but that's what I said last time, so I'm just copying exactly what I said last time. There are 13 categories that will be awarded. If certain things get the same award from a majority of hosts, it will be the true award winner. This is also important and probably going to be very confusing because now we have real commercials, but I'm also legally required to play some fake commercial breaks from a variety of sponsors we have backed up. So if you're listening to the audio only version of this podcast, some of these jokes will not translate well at all unless you have visuals. So I'm sorry about that. And also there will be real commercials occasionally throughout the podcast too. So that'll probably be annoying and confusing. I apologize. The video version will probably be better to watch for this. Anyway.
What is our favorite real commercial that we don't get to see inside of this video?
All I know is when I went back to listen to our podcasts, I got like a commercial for Target. Like the store. And that's the only ad I've heard play over our podcast.
I wish you had that one in the real awards so we could rate it.
Let's get our first sponsor out of the way. It's a very important one. Here we got welcome Greenpedia. Subscribe. Welcome to Top 12 Green Screen Cartoon Transition FX number 1.
What is this?
Slime number 2. Purple Smoke number 3.
You are insane. You are insane.
Purple Smoke number 4.
That's such an Adventure Time one.
Goo
Whoa.
number 5.
That's like soda bubbles.
Dude, number 4 was way better than number 3.
Orange juice number 6.
Orange Ocean Kirby.
Ew! Oh,
Paper. I used that one in one of our videos. Number 7. The Big Birds.
Whoa, that's
I like
cute.
that one. That's the best one I would think, but I don't think we're allowed to say our favorites yet. 8. Not gonna say what that one is. Number 9.
No, Nick.
Fart Cloud.
Ew.
Number 10. We're almost done. Origami. Number 11.
Wait, there's more than 10?
What orange
Another
juice?
cloud. Number 2. Oh, the final one. Slime.
Rugrats.
More slime. Give me a thumbs up rating. Thank you very much. Thank you very much from our friends
Slime
at
and then Facebook.
our friends at Top 12 Green Screen Cartoon Transition FX for the sponsorship here on the Hooty Awards. All right.
That was.
Alright, I
You're
want to loop this a
insane.
little bit. Alright, okay. Let's
I
get
could
going.
feel how badly you wanted to move on from that the entire time.
No, I had it's you can't say that. We were paid by top 12 green screen cartoon transitions to say that. Also, I mean, okay, I guess I do need to say that was a real YouTube video. So like, no, we weren't actually paid for that one. Okay, anyways.
You didn't make that?
No, I didn't make that. No.
Aw.
I did use the one with the paper falling down and the hand grabbing it. I used that in the trailer for our podcast, like 2 or 3 years ago. That's why I have that video downloaded.
My favorite was the Facebook hand one.
That was a good one, but it wasn't. It didn't fill the full screen, so I don't think it would work well as a green screen transition. But we will. We'll move on from that, and we will start the actual show here now. We also didn't talk about what order we would go in. So I don't know. Does it? Our first award is favorite episode. Does anybody want to begin, or do you want me?
Right. Okay, so I'm assuming that if any of you are like me, you have forgotten the majority of the Owl House Season 2
good
episodes,
start.
especially in Season 1A. So, with
2A.
me today, I have
2A.
I have my best friend in the world, Wikipedia. Oh, but I didn't know Molly Astertag worked on the Owl House. What the hell? And anyway, I'm gonna give you an abridged summary of each episode. So, are you ready, kids?
Aye, Captain.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, sure. Quick,
let's-
Alright.
one sentence summary per episode. Go. Start the timer.
Episode 1, Luz becomes a pirate
Right.
and fakes her death.
Uh-huh.
Episode 2, Amity tells her parents to go fuck themselves.
Yep.
Say the
Episode 3.
say the episode title too.
Oh, sorry. Episode 1, Separate Tides, the pirate episode. Episode 2, Escaping Expulsion. Amity's mother tries to get Luz expelled.
I like your old one.
Episode... Do you really want a single sentence summary?
Yep.
Episode 3, Echoes of the Past. The Metroid 5 episode.
Uh-huh.
Episode 4, Keeping Up Appearances. The Vaccine Allegory episode.
Uh-huh.
Episode 5, Through the Looking Glass Ruins. Gus and worst character ever work together to scare off some Grander students. Episode 6,
That's not all that happened in that
Hunting
episode, but
Palisman.
anyway.
Hunting Palisman. Hunter becomes the Blue Spirit.
Mm-hmm.
Episode 7, Ida's Requiem. Ida and her ex play some sick jams together.
Mm-hmm.
Episode 8, Knock Knock Knocking on Hooty's Door. No elaboration needed.
Mm-hmm.
Episode 9, Eclipse Lake. Amity versus Hunter. Epic fight to the death.
Yeah.
Episode 10, Yesterday's Lie. Luz gets a new sister.
Right.
Episode
True.
11, Follies at the Coven Day Parade.
I mean, that episode title is the sentence.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah, I guess that is the entire...
Was Raine in that one? Or
Yes.
Yes. My
Raine
summary
was-
of that episode would be Raine is mind controlled, and then the summary of a later episode will be Raine is not mind controlled.
Episode 11, Follies at the Coven Day Parade. Rain is mind controlled. Episode 12, Elsewhere and Elsewhen. Luz
Stairs.
breaks the timeline.
Railings.
Episode 13, Any Sport in a Storm. I didn't watch this ep. Episode
What?
14.
Oh, that's the one that they all hated you for.
Yeah, that's the one that I got a load of hate mail for. And I'll be talking about that episode later.
Okay.
Episode 14, Reaching Out. Amity kicks ass.
Is that the wrestling one?
That's the wrestling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Episode 15, Lems breaks kid. Ida Rain backstory.
Oh, that was a good one.
Episode 16, Hollow Mind. Oh god. That's the summary. Oh god.
Yeah.
Episode 17, Edge of the World. Monster Hunter World.
Uh-huh. The game. Yep.
Episode 18, Labyrinth Runners. The Good School episode.
Mm-hmm.
Episode 19, O Titan, Where Art Thou? Everybody Tries to Cope.
Yep.
Episode 20, Clouds in the Horizon. everything goes wrong. And episode 21, King's Tide. Oh god, did he just move the moon?
I would have said the Emperor gets one-shotted for that one.
I would have said the Emperor changed drink, but it's fine.
Emperor gets overkilled. So, now that I've finished that, I've already forgotten, like, most of the ones that I said.
No,
you know what? That did genuinely help me remember stuff, though, I'll be honest.
Did you guys not, like, rewatch some of the episodes?
I haven't.
No, I haven't got time for that shit, Sheila.
Okay.
Yeah, no. We should have. I wanted to. That's why it took me so long to actually type in my stuff for this, but I didn't.
I think it will be a funny podcast if we, like, try our hardest to remember the episodes.
I think we'll remember once we start talking, for sure.
Yeah, we'll remember.
Yeah. Okay.
Anyway, I've already done some research on the ones that I wanted to talk about anyway, so,
I guess...
Right, so now that we remember everything about the Owl House Season 2, would you like to begin?
Well, I just want to do a disclaimer first, like, for, like, the future generations that would be watching this, if it's an artifact someday, is that the season came out in 2 parts, and there was a huge gap between them, so it's like...
Yes.
The reason we're like, I don't remember any of this is because we watched them as they were coming out. So not only did we have to wait, a week per episode, but we also had to wait, like, with the huge hiatus in the middle and all that business. So that's why we've forgotten. Not because we didn't like it. It was wonderful. Actually, I thought it was wonderful. Who knows what the others will say? Go ahead.
Yeah, we thought it was terrible, which is why we've made, like, 40 videos on the Owl House.
Yeah.
Exactly. Should I go first? I guess I'll go first with the favorite episode award. If an episode happens to have more than one vote from each person put together, then that will actually win the award from us.
I expected, like, a stock applause after you said the category.
Oh, I have one. You want that? I'll find it.
I do want that. I'm not even kidding. I need that. I'm not sitting here in silence. This is a big day.
So I have a question about how we're doing this. Are we going to say the runner-up first, or our number one winner first, or are we just going to wing it and do whatever?
Last time we said the winner first, so I think we could just go with that.
I'm fine with the winner first, yeah.
No problem there.
Yeah! That's exactly what I wanted. Thank you.
Now these are the real Hooty Awards.
My favorite episode is... if people happen to remember our ratings, this may be a surprising one, but I picked this one because it ends up actually being the most memorable one to me.
Oh my god.
My favorite episode is Eclipse Lake.
Oh!
Nice.
Oh my god!
Now, I gave the episode an 8.5.
What?
And I think it was maybe because of Kikimura's stuff, and, like, I think the beginning part was kind of boring, but it was kind of the only episode, at least from... No, it was in the first half of the season, right? It was one of our only episodes to have, like, a really nice, like, fluid animated action moment, right? I feel like those were a little more common in season 1. Not that it has to be there, but that's definitely something that makes it, like, helps me have such a good memory of this one. What were you going to say, Chan?
I thought they were going to do a fluid action scene when Luce and Ito were going to fight in the Emperor's Coven, like, warehouse, but they kind of didn't. So you're right.
I know.
I think they tried though, didn't they? But it wasn't as good as usual.
It was short.
Yeah, it's not even like that. That's something that has to be there. It's just definitely something that, like, that's like an added caliber that I think is really cool from this show. But I just think this episode had a pretty interesting scenario, and I did also really like that it was mainly focused on side characters. Like, Luz definitely wasn't important in it, but did she even show up? What
yes, Luz was sick for the... The part of the episode is that Luz was sick, so when Amity... Amity was texting her on the Tamagotchi, do you remember?
Yes, yeah.
And
okay.
Amity worked herself up and thought that when Luz was sending her, like, a silly Tamagotchi message, she thought it said, get the potion or else.
Because that was what Hunter told her that, I think.
Yes, that's what Hunter, because I think this episode did a fantastic job at setting up Hunter and Amity as these sort of, maladjusted characters who feel like they need to work hard to earn love. And that is the main conflict of the episode. It is both Amity and Hunter, like, dealing with that, and Hunter just telling telling Amity that she will lose out on the love she has if she fails people. Mm-hmm. But Amity learning that no, that's not the case.
Yeah, exactly.
And Hunter not being able to let go and accept love from other people, not being able to accept cooperation from Amity because he's still so determined to win the Emperor's love.
Yeah, and Amity and Hunter are among my favorite characters, of course, as I've probably mentioned multiple times, especially Hunter. Even just that fact that it's like one of the handful of episodes that's about side characters. We got a good amount of episodes like that in this season, though, which is kind of surprising. But I think this one was the strongest for me because it was just about characters that I like, and it was a really cool scenario. And I mean, the whole thing with the blood and the key and all that, like, this was a really lore significant one too. So this was my favorite of the season, even if I didn't give it a high rating, because when I did the ratings, you know, the ratings were more based on, like, I looked at it in a critical way. But if I wanted to, like, now for this award thing, I was thinking more like, what episode stands out the most and what episode would I watch like multiple times in a row and still enjoy it? And I said Eclipse Lake. My runner-up, this one makes more sense because we gave this one like almost a 10. I might have gave it a 10 or a 9.5 or something. I didn't write down what I gave it, but it's Clouds on the Horizon, which is the pre-season finale, which I think was just a really good, like, we talked about it a lot in the review of it, but it just had such a good, like, ominous impending doom vibe to it, and it got a lot of storytelling done with different characters' arcs and stuff, and it had that emotional moment of Ida and Luz and King, like, chilling out on the balcony. That's like one of the best parts of the entire series so far, so I say that episode. But then I also wrote, with some question marks, I wrote O Titan, Where Art Thou, just because I think that episode has such a cool reveal. But I think it's just weighed down by how it's kind of presented in a tropey way of, like, oh, it's his dad, but it's not his dad. Like, I think that's kind of that's just kind of a weakish.
You're thinking of Edge of the World?
Is that Edge of the World?
Edge of the World is the King reveal episode.
Okay, sorry. Then I wait. Did I even? Okay.
No, O Titan, Where Art Thou is, I believe, the one where
yeah, that's the one where they do.
It's revealed.
Okay, yeah. Okay, sorry.
Okay,
sorry.
hang on a second.
I had that mixed up with. I thought that happened in because O Titan, Where Art Thou's the, like, motorcycle one, right? With Steve.
Yeah.
Yes.
No?
O Titan, Where Art Thou is the. I got mixed up as well.
I had that mixed up with. I thought that was like
Edge
a portion. I thought that was a part of Clouds on the Horizon, I think. So, okay, sorry. So I'm thinking Edge of the World. Then I also wrote Hunting Palisman because every single one of us gave that episode a 10, but I do not really remember it aside from the really cool Luz plus Hunter teamwork dynamic and little fight that they had.
We can write 3?
No, I mean, you could just mention them. My actual runner-up is Clouds on the Horizon. I'm just mentioning other episodes that I liked a lot.
I have to apologize. I've changed 2 answers already. So
no, that's totally fine, because...
I just mean there's going to be a lot of clickety-clacking on my recording.
No, that's fine. There's a lot of clickety-clacking for me with all my sound effects, too. That's my favorite. Who's next?
Right.
Yeah, Tipsy, you go next, because that's the order that our voice chat is showing up.
I always have, like, a million thoughts on everything. So my favourite episode award for Season 2 has to go to Labyrinth Runners. I feel like Labyrinth Runners was the moment where I went from, okay, I'm quite enjoying Season 2, to, holy shit, this might be one of my favourite shows now. Labyrinth Runners is the episode with Gus's mind powers and the illusion Coven head inside of the school. And in my opinion, it's easily the best school episode of the series. What I really liked about this episode is that not only did it have, like, strong ties with the overarching plot and really bringing Hexside into the Day of Unity drama, it also had, like, a strong arc from the start of the episode to the finish, and it had lots of character moments and interactions with characters who have previously been kind of sidelined. I really liked Gus in this episode. I feel like Season 2 has done great things for Gus, because he really was a nobody in Season 1, I have to admit. In Season 2, he's just so much better, and I really liked Gus and Hunter's relationship, and I liked Widow's thing with, it starts off with a flashback of Widow trying to calm Gus down during a panic attack when they were both very young. And then later on in the episode, Gus calms Hunter down during a panic attack, and then at the very end, Hunter tries to calm Gus down during a panic attack, but he kind of messes up and whistles instead of breathing out, and it's very funny. And I don't know, I feel like all of the elements of this episode were very good start to finish. There was even like a nice little action scene, and there weren't even any credits to the episode because they wanted to extend it from start to finish. So I feel like Labyrinth Runners is the episode where everything came together for me, and I was really rooting for the good guys for the end of the season. It gave the season some direction that it might have been lacking beforehand. So that's why Labyrinth Runners is my favourite episode of season 2.
Yay. Yeah, fair. I remember you liking that one a lot. I think for me, I think just kind of the scenario of like that one being trapped in the school and stuff, I think that just that like it's not as interesting of a scenario to me as like I thought Eclipse Lake and a few other episodes were, but it is a definitely really great constructed episode. But what is Tipsy's runner-up?
My runner-up is Oh Titan, Rare Art Foul, the episode we were just discussing.
But I was discussing the wrong one.
Yeah, except we were discussing the wrong one. Anyway, Oh Titan, Rare Art Foul is the episode where everybody just starts to fall apart as they realise the Day of Unity is approaching. King is grappling with the knowledge that he is a Titan. He thought he might have been part of something, but now he knows that not only is his father definitely dead, he's also going to stop being a little guy. He's going to grow up into this massive, godlike beast, and Lilith is not helping him by repeatedly trying to worship him or whatever the hell she was doing. And he's just not sure what to do because nobody immediately around him can really help him deal with it. So, meanwhile, you have Ida and Luz. Luz is stressed out, and Ida just wants to protect her. Ida just wants to protect Luz and King, and is so desperate to do so that she even, like, begs Raine to shield them, like, to look out for them. Knowing that even if Raine has been brainwashed by the Emperor, that there's gotta be some good in Raine, still that person, you know, who Ida fell in love with, and that Raine would help. And there's just this desperation of Ida and Raine agreeing to help, because Raine at the end of the day isn't even brainwashed, they're just trying to protect Ida. But they know how important Ida's kids are to her, so they offer to protect Luz, but Luz doesn't want to be coddled, Luz doesn't want to be protected, so then you have Ida and Luz breaking out into an actual fight, where instead of protecting Luz, Ida accidentally kind of ends up being her opponent, and they get each other in danger, apparently. Meanwhile, King is going on this rather... I don't know, the entire tone of the episode is just something else. It's so slow, it really takes time to deal with the character's emotions. It deals with King just trying to have a nice final day before the Day of Unity, and it really grabs you from start to finish. I felt like the episode took forever, but I really enjoyed that they were able to slow down and just have a breather with the characters. Most other shows don't get that opportunity. So even though the ending I felt kind of undercut the prior part of the episode with the whole tone shift of, hey, we're the cats, we'll solve everything, I do feel like that did get a decent enough follow-up to not really inhibit the episode in any way. So I would say Oh Titan, Where Art Thou is my runner-up.
Perfect. Are you sure it's not your favorite episode?
No, it's not my favourite episode. Labyrinth Runners is my favourite episode. Oh Titan, Where Art Thou is my runner-up. Yeah. How I feel when watching it is fundamental to how I am ranking these episodes.
Yeah. I definitely remember us thinking, Oh Titan, now that I remember which episode that was. I remember us all thinking, like, this is long, and then, like, it wasn't any different in terms of, like...
Yeah, we checked the episode length, because it definitely felt way longer than a normal episode.
In a good way.
Yeah.
The magic
in a good way,
because
it packed us with so much.
Truly crazy.
All right, Chan, you're up, buddy.
You made me change my order on my episodes.
That's fine.
My winner of season 2 of the Towel House is Eclipse Lake. Whoa.
Let's go!
Whoa.
What a surprise.
And I'll tell you why, even though I can't exactly tell you why.
And you didn't even review that episode with us.
So I missed this week, and I had no idea where to go to see it. I'm not gonna lie, I had no idea. So I watched it in like 144p on YouTube in 14 parts. Because some person put it on YouTube in 14 parts at 144, and I was like, oh my god, this is bad. But I didn't want to get any spoilers, because spoilers are everywhere. I could have just asked you guys to send it, but for whatever reason, I decided to watch it in horrible quality in 14 parts. And despite that, I still remember being like, this was, like, I loved it. I remember just, like, anytime I think about that season, I would always think about how cool I thought that episode was. Maybe it was the fight, just, like, the raw emotion, the fight. I mean, I love Amity, maybe it was her, but, like, all things considered, I should have rewatched it in good quality without any interruptions. I really should have. But
So that's your number 1, Eclipse Lake?
yeah, it is. I just, in terms of, like, especially because it was in the first half of season 2, like, I forgot, like, everything except for that one. Like, for whatever reason, like, I remember just sitting, like, really enjoying it. I don't know, that just, like, it stuck with me. So I was like, that's gonna be my number 1. However, I did do this, like, kind of personal rule when I was doing the answers 10 minutes ago. That I wasn't gonna pick any finales or pre-season finales or mid-season finales as my faves, because, like, I don't know, I just feel like those are automatically really good, so I wanted to kind of think...
I disagree.
Well...
Remember the last season? The season finale was not our favourite episode.
No, that's definitely not... Yeah, it's definitely not true at all.
During our podcast for Clouds on the Horizon, I think that was the right one, you said that was your new favorite episode.
Well, then I'll
redo it.
No. I'll rephrase that. I really liked those episodes a lot, like mid-season and the last 2. I liked them a lot, and I thought it'd be kind of boring to just pick one of those, so I just picked a different one.
Can I just, like, mention of the Eclipse Lake episode? I feel like that was the moment season 2 went from, okay, this is good, to, okay, this is fucking great, and Our House keeps getting better and better. I feel like that's the moment where I realised we were really onto something good.
Yeah, I mean, and I think that's why I picked it. Like, I actually did have Eclipse Lake as my runner-up until Nick talked about it, and I was like, I need to stop being a coward and just put this... I think the reason it wasn't on my number 1 was because of the YouTube 14-part thing, and that just made me think, like, I think I really liked this episode. So I went with my gut on that one. However, my runner-up is Labyrinth Runners, which was originally my number 1, till Nick swayed me. I mean, you already talked about, like, why the episode was good, and I just agreed. Like, it was just good start to finish. It was so interesting. Yeah. I loved
that's such a fun episode too. Like, you know, there's not, like, it's got the panic attack stuff, but it's not like in a dark light or anything like that. Like, that's just a fun episode.
Yeah.
Gus is, like, so OP in that episode for, like, no reason. It's hilarious.
Yeah, it was super cool. I liked that it, not only Gus, but the Willow scenes were really cute too, with her doing, like, the 5-second rule with her fingers or whatever. And
is that the one where Willow, like, roared out to Amity, I want you to see me, or is that a later one?
Yeah, that was that one, I think.
Was it that one? I don't know. I remember her not taking her seriously. Oh yeah, I think it was that one, because, like, she kept trying to defend Willow in the episode, and Willow was like, nah, I'm cool plant god, and then, like, attacked
Yeah, I'm a god now. I'm a god of plants and anime.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. It's like, there was a lot of really good ones. Like, I would have listed, like, probably half the season if I could. It's really hard to pick a favorite.
I know.
I just went with my gut.
Definitely.
It was hard. I want to ask you, though, so you think that Clouds on the Horizon counts as, like, a finale episode? And that's why you didn't choose it?
I considered it, like, the like, what's the word, penultimate episode? The one before the last one? I considered it, like, kind of like a 2-parter, the last 2, so I just didn't choose that. It's like Agony of a Witch. Like, Agony of a Witch in season 1 was amazing, and I did pick it back then, but that was also, like, the part 1 of like, everything that happened in the finale, so...
See, I think that's misguided, because it's actually very, very rare for a finale to be my favourite episode in a season, because a finale is usually this crammed together mess trying to resolve everything at once, whereas the true gold of a show is usually somewhere in the middle or towards the end of a season with the more introspective scenes. So, for example, Clouds on the Horizon was an introspective episode compared to King's Tide, which had a lot more action, but because I guess season 2 was so slow, I would say King's Tide was a good season finale, but it's still not my favourite episode of the season.
Remember, I did rephrase, you're right. I'm only picking them just because, like, I didn't want to just pick finales. I just wanted to pick something different.
I think that's fair for, like, discussion purposes, too, you know, because everybody is going to want to pick one of those. That's why I have a runner-up category, because I figured something, like, we would all end up picking, like, a big lore-heavy episode and stuff, but I think it's really great and interesting that we're all thinking that sort of way and just picking the most well-crafted and, like, rewatchable episode. That's definitely what I would prefer.
Yeah, especially because you're right, because I dislike most finales. It's very difficult to make everything satisfying in such a short amount of time. So I guess I'm doing them a disservice not picking them, but that's okay. I've made my choice. Tulip's turn. Did I disconnect? I'm still
awake?
here.
Did you fall asleep?
I am still here. I just have to deal with a cat who's trying to destroy everything in my bedroom.
Does the cat want to talk to us? Please?
Meow.
No, that wasn't a real cat.
So, my favorite episodes, I will say in general, like I was kind of paying attention a little bit to the ratings I actually gave the episode. I was looking back at the list, taking that into consideration, but like when our ratings in the podcast, which are right after we watch the episode, I was coming from a different place of my retrospective ratings for these. However, my winner and runner-up for favorite episode were both episodes I think I gave a 10 to both of these, which I did a lot for this season. This was a good season, but I do... I feel like I had the most basic choices. My winner and runner-up are King's Tide, the season finale, and Yesterday's Lie, the mid-season finale.
Really? You said Yesterday's Lie? I think that's interesting, because none of us said that, right?
No, it's not like we were talking about this episode immediately before we started or anything. But go on, Tulip. Explain your favourite episodes.
Well, it's just like we said, for King's Tide, for the finale, like, it's kind of rare for finales to be that good, and it was just really good. And, like, it had the Collector in it, which had been built up, and, like, he was so cool.
King's Tide wins best soundtrack, for sure, but that's not a category.
And, like, that emotional ending, all the parts in it. You know, Raine saying, like, I promised a special kid I'd keep you safe, and then they pulled off Ida's arm, which was something we predicted would happen earder. That was cool. It was a cool moment.
Yeah, I can really see that episode as, like, especially to people who are super duper fans of the show, even more so than us, like, that's the episode where, like, you'll just watch a clip from it every once in a while to remember how cool and exciting it was. Like, I do that with,
right,
you know, Gravity Falls
and
and like,
also again I think
all the time.
For sure for King's Tide, and I don't remember because it was a long time ago, but I think for Yesterday's Lie too, not just because they were the finales, like the last episodes we had for a while, but both of them were the only episodes in the season I went back and rewatched very soon after we did the podcast, because I was like, I'm still thinking about it. I gotta see this again.
I think one thing I'll say about, like, King's Tide, like, as opposed to other series, there are like several scenes in King's Tide which really stick with me. The Collector would definitely be like one of them. The Collector is just this being built up, but us having no idea just how strong, terrifying, and weirdly adorable the Collector would be. When that theme tune kicks in and all of your senses just scream, danger, 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 and then he just moves the entire moon, like, off to one side, like it's absolutely nothing. Oh, that one thing that you have all been terrified of all season?
Yeah.
Here, let me just shift the moon and get rid of it. And then he just tears the world apart, and it's like, I have never seen, like, such a good villain entrance. It's absolutely anime, but also, like, in such a good way. And they never.
And he just destroys the Emperor Like,
it's such a new anime villain moment. Like shows up, flicks his finger, and the old villain is just a smear on the wall. But another thing I really enjoyed was the ensemble moments of this episode. The ending of the ep is very famous, with everybody landing on planet Earth. Now, there was like a joke in there, like the amphibia joke, and I was like, why would you have that there? But other than that, that was like a really, really good scene.
Exactly.
Just the utter despair.
And also, like, Philip himself, Bellis, we don't get a lot of scenes with him, you know, in the show, and like King's Tide really had some cool, like, you know, the protagonist versus the antagonist moments, which there really weren't a lot of in the Owl House before, but like there was in the season finale, and it was cool.
Yeah, I feel like episode 16, Hollow Mind, right? I feel like Hollow Mind tried to kind of set up the Philip versus Luz dynamic, but it didn't really land with me in that episode. But I thought it really landed here,
yes,
with Luz effectively begging for her life, trying to find a way to outsmart Philip, save her own life, and free her friends. And it's just that sort of ragged determination as well. It's very fun to watch. And then, of course, King's big moment at the end, where he just sort of, you know, we don't know what shape King is going to be in when we see him next.
Yeah.
It's just very powerful. So I think
agree
that's a
completely.
good choice for a favourite episode.
And my runner-up yesterday's Lie, I don't have as much to say about that one, I guess, but it's just, I just remember the vibe of watching it and being like, we're in the human world. This hasn't happened before. We've never had an entire episode in the human world, and it felt like, you know, I remember it being like, oh, yo, there's a coffee shop, there's a human working there, and like, these are normal things, but because it's the Owl House, it feels weird to be seeing them. And also, we got introduced to V, and we got to know Luz's mom some more. And those are characters that, you know, because they live in a different world than all the main characters, we, like, hardly ever see. And it was just cool to have, you know, the mid-season finale be so focused on stuff that we, like, hardly ever see.
And it had the emotional ending there, too. That was a good bit.
True.
I loved the in-between world in that one. The cube world.
Yeah,
He was being stuck in the Mirrorland. I thought it was visually cool, and I thought, you know, the desperation of Luz trying to contact her mother. There was just something.
And we also got some little tidbits of Ida backstory, like not real backstory, but like Ida moments from when she was in the human world, which I always love.
Ida with a raccoon. Oh my god. Am I remembering right? Did she order a raccoon or something?
She tried to pay with a raccoon, I think.
She tried to pay with a raccoon. Oh my god.
Yeah. And Ida used the fake name that was also the name of one of Grosan's ex-wives. So there are big Gravity Falls connection thing. Yeah, I don't know, good choices from everybody. The next category will get us into this, but yeah, like, the season was so good. There's really not any episodes that were that bad, unless everybody's about to say something harsh in our next category. But
I know this was the least favorite episode. I had such a hard time with this because, like, I don't know, there were episodes I didn't like in season 1. In season 2, there weren't really any bad episodes. I don't know.
No, there weren't any bad episodes.
But before we move on to that, I just need to say that Eclipse Wake is technically the winner because it got 2 votes. So here's the winner music. Congratulations, Eclipse Lake, the best episode of the entire series so far. No, I don't know. I mean, I assume we would end up doing a awards for the whole show or something because season 3 is going to be short, but I don't know. We'll figure that out when we get to it. Also,
yeah, but like it would all be season 2, wouldn't it?
Maybe.
Yeah, probably you're right.
I'm sure Nick would pick the library episode after everything.
I might. Honestly, I still think that one's so good.
But I'm ready to talk about least favorite episodes.
Well, before we get to that, we got another word.
Oh, true.
We got a word from our sponsor here.
God, people are so nice sponsoring these.
Good. All right. So, coming this summer, Daryl was a normal crash test dummy until he met the love of his life. Crashing Love, coming soon this summer.
Wait, that's it?
I want to watch that. I want to watch that.
Go see that movie.
Can we,
Thank you, Crashing Love.
Can we break down the trailer, see if there's any, like, hints to the plot in the background, or...
They only gave me these 2 stills to work with.
Why does he change colour?
We don't know. Yeah, I mean, maybe
Am I allowed to ask that?
there's some
I mean,
sort of code on the car. Maybe if we type that code in to like an Imgur link, it might bring us to
We'll
like.
get like an ARG.
Oh yeah, that might be
Yeah.
it. That could be possible.
Alright. We'll talk about that later. We'll get to it.
Yeah, we'll get to it.
We
We'll get to
will
it.
talk about that later.
All right, so least favorite episode.
I'll go first. Can I switch the order?
Yeah, you go ahead, because I need to look up which one mine is.
We're going back with the guts, okay? Like you guys said, like I didn't say like I hated this episode really to any of them, even the one Tipsy like fell asleep for. But I did pick. I picked Knock 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 on Hooty's Door for my least favorite.
Wow.
Which is
I was undecided about that one. I mean, you talk about it, but
it was fine. Like, again, like, the worst episode of this season is still good. I think it had a lot of good moments. It was funny, but it was also frustrating. I think when we recorded for it, I said I was frustrated because I thought all three of the plots, which were King's undiscovered powers, Luce and Amity's relationship, and then Ida's harpy powers, I thought those were all three really cool plot lines, and I felt like the episode was like, how are we gonna solve all these fast enough in this season? Let's just, like, fast forward all three of them, and I was really annoyed about that. I thought that the, like, Tunnel of Love scene with Amity and Luce was, like, not fun cringe for me. It was, like...
Yeah, that was just,
Yeah.
like, super cringe. I didn't like that part at all.
It was painful cringe. In a cosmic sort of sense, it was funny and stuff. Like, just, like, all the things Hooty did, it was like, are you kidding me? But just, like, I don't know. I was, like,
Yeah.
annoyed at how it was handling all of those things.
I thought that too. Like once I looked, like I was like, what was my least favorite episode? I thought about that as like my least favorite moment for sure. So I was like,
Yeah.
okay, that has to be my least favorite episode. But
Yeah.
the Ida and King stuff was really good in it. So like I couldn't say it was even that bad because I did remember.
Can you
loving those
remind
aspects of
me?
it.
I need your help. Can you remind me how, like, exactly how Ida's plot went in that one? I remember.
She had like a crazy dream of the curse, because you had half of it was Ida's dream and half of it was the curse's dream, and it had this amazing imagery. Like, it is such a
Was that
good
the one
and
with the
creative
owl
scene.
beast, like on the cliffside with the collector? In the
Yes,
background?
it
Yeah,
was
yeah.
so good. It was like watching an Adventure Time dream
Yeah.
episode. Like you know, it was like watching the Finn and Fern dream sequence in the Adventure Time finale, and I was like, God, I love this. It was
Yeah,
so
no,
good.
for sure, I
So
like that.
that's why, even though like you said, the Luz and Amity stuff was fucking cringe, it brings down the episode enough for it to not be a favorite, but it doesn't bring down the episode enough for me to call it a least favorite.
Yeah.
Like, that was the one I probably had the strongest negative feelings toward coming right off the end, because I was like, ugh, that was just so uncomfortable.
That's what I
But also,
mean,
there was
it's
so
like-
many good
Well,
parts of it.
we should say, like, it's more so like secondhand embarrassment than it is cringe, right? Like I feel like cringe has a different kind of
Yeah.
connotation.
Yeah. I mean, it's, you know, when shows try to make a character, like, be all bumbly and mess up, and it's like, there's one way to watch it and still be able to enjoy it, but that one's like, I want to look away, I hate this. Like, it's
Yeah.
not fun.
Well, yeah, it's annoying. It's annoying. I know they want to like kind of mirror, you know, the heterosexual teen romance, because you never really get that, or any of those tropes. You never get them. But at the same time, that is one thing I'd have been more than happy to see die with heterosexual teen romance.
Yeah, and just, I felt so bad. I don't remember the specifics, like I said, but, like, Amity was really trying to say something to Luce, and Luce was, like, completely... I don't remember what she said to her, but it made me feel really bad.
Luz hurt Amity's feelings like a great deal in that episode, just because Luz was so embarrassed. And Amity like felt broken by the end of it, and he just spent the whole
it
thing
was
just
really
waiting for them to resolve their stupid misunderstanding. And you know,
I think Amity was, like, okay with what was happening. She's just like, oh, a tunnel of
And
love. This
Luce
is
was
actually happening. And
embarrassed.
Luce was embarrassed, so she was, like, trying to be like, I don't want this. Like, get away from me. And I was like, I hate this. I really don't like it. Like, everything
yeah, so-
else aside, I'll never forget that.
Yeah, but then they resolved it in the end, and it was good.
so that's definitely my least favorite scene in the season.
Yeah.
Chan, what's your runner-up?
My runner-up is Keeping Up Appearances, which is the Ida's mom episode. This is truly a going with my gut episode because I barely remember it. I'm not gonna lie. All I remember is that we stopped watching it and I was like, that wasn't that good. So that's all I'm gonna say about it.
I'll interject and say that's also my least favorite because kind of that same reason. I just feel like it's one of the more forgettable ones, even if it introduces Ida's mom, right? And like, is it about Lilith? Like, is it about
Lilith plays a part in it.
Yeah.
It's my runner-up. I could be convinced to have it as my actual least favourite, but it's my runner-up simply because I don't remember my actual least favourite.
Yeah.
But I do remember that one, so, you know.
So I had such a hard time choosing least favourites, and I was looking through the episode list, and I really did consider that one for my least favourites, but I didn't.
Fearences or Hooty's Door?
The
mom one?
Fearences.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. But then I rewatched that one. That was one of the ones I rewatched because I had basically no memory of it. And, like, it's not that bad. The thing I remembered mostly about it was how Ida fell for the dumbest, like, trick ever. There was just a sign outside her door that said free apple blood, and she was like, oh, free apple blood, I'll follow this sign into the woods.
I feel like that's like
you know what, I find that hilarious. Though.
Yeah,
I find that hilarious.
Yeah, and that it was the vaccine episode, which was like a little bit uncomfortable, but like it also it's kind of plot important. It's the first ever mention of Philip and of Titan's blood is in that episode.
Wait, really?
Yeah, and also Lilith. I think that episode is the only time we ever see Lilith's like full owl beast form, which is pretty cool.
The fact that Ida's mom shows up and the fact that Lilith turns into the beast, those are the only things I remember. I don't remember the context or anything, and I think just the fact that I had forgotten so much about it must mean, it wasn't conveyed in a way that was memorable or something.
This episode had, like, a flashback, though. I believe this is the episode where we had the flashback of Ida. Is it the one where we had the flash of Ida injuring her father?
No, that was in the dream.
Future episode? Oh, this is the where we had the flashback of Ida running away from home and finding the portal. Oh my god.
Yes.
Right, that was a long forgotten thing. I think what holds me back from like saying it's my least favourite is that I did like some aspects of it. I kind of liked that. I both liked and disliked that Ida's mother truly does care about her. It's just she's misguided. She's just trying desperately. She's just an old lady trying to find ways to protect her daughter, but she's being misguided and taken advantage of by someone who's effectively a salesman, a con man, and that kind of like hit home for real life in a sense. There's lots of elderly people who are getting preyed upon by these fake healers, so I had some respect for that. What I really didn't like is that it's the episode where Lilith disappears, and I'm like, I never like a nerdy character getting fridged. Not fridged, put on the bus. Lilith was very much put on the bus in that episode, so I didn't like that. I didn't enjoy the episode, and because there was another misunderstanding that had to be resolved, that was born and solved within the episode, I just felt like there was nothing particularly memorable about it. We never even see the Lilith Owl Beast form again, so, so it was like my runner-up. Should I talk about my least favourite?
Yeah, that makes sense.
Right. My least favourite was Escaping Expulsion.
Oh. Now that was one that I didn't rewatch, and I also don't remember it.
Yeah, exactly. That is pretty much the only reason. Like, okay, from what I remember of Escaping Expulsion, it had some cool fight scenes. It was Amity standing up to her parents saying, effectively, this is what I want. I think it's the one where she changes her hair colour, if I recall.
No, that happens later.
Oh, that happens later, does it? Well, basically, she
that happens in the episode that you described as Gus and the worst character, like, go on an adventure.
Really? That happens in that episode?
That episode? Are you sure?
Yes.
What does Luz do in that?
Is that the B plot? Because I have no idea.
Yes, that episode has insane pacing.
Well, I can't remember that episode. Maybe I complained about it at length when we watched it. I complained about the pacing and like how my lack of memory. But my least favourite episode wasn't the one that I completely forgot, which is the Quidditch one. It was Escaping Expulsion, mostly because Amity standing up to her parents. This is probably like the least impactful of those episodes. We get plenty more of those down the line. We get plenty more of Amity having good episodes in the future, so this is probably like the least impactful Amity episode of the season. It's the last time we see Bad Girl Amity. One of many and nothing particularly memorable happening in this one. It's like, this is one I would probably not bother to rewatch. So that's why it's my least favourite. It's one of those start of the season episodes with not really much inside of it that would bring you back to it. And that's it.
I too can't remember much of the actual structure of the episode, but I remember it being fun, and it's about Amity.
Yeah, like I remember kind of liking it, so I didn't really think about it when considering.
And it's the start of the season, and I remember that was like, did that and Separate Tides come out the same day?
No,
yeah,
did
I think
it?
so.
No, I don't think so.
I think anyway,
I feel like they did.
I think I really liked this set when it came out, but like over time, we've just had so many Amity episodes this season, and most of them are better than this one. So I'm like, this one's nothing special.
Yeah, exactly. Because I remember these two started the season, and it was like Separate Tides was like, okay, yeah, Owl House is back, and then that episode was like, oh, Owl House is back. Like, this is cool as hell. Like, I love this show. Like, it was definitely a stronger one than the season premiere to me.
Can I talk about my least favorites?
Go ahead.
So, my least favorite episode, the polar opposite of my favorites for the season finale, is my least favorite is Separate Tides, the beginning of season 2.
There you go.
Because that one, I didn't rewatch it, and I don't remember it that well, but I remember that we all gave it a 7, and like, what we all came out of that episode feeling was like, you know, you kind of expect a season opener to be a big deal, but that just felt very much like an average Owl House episode.
Yeah, like it introduces Hunter, and like that's it, right?
Right, and almost everything else in season 2 is like complete bangers, you know? So it's how do you start off on just average and then get so much better everywhere else? That's why it's my least favorite.
I would want to rewatch that one though. Like, I want to rewatch it to see what Hunter was like, because I remember really liking him in his introduction episode.
My runner-up least favorite, and I feel like I might get some hate for this one. Remember when I said there are no bad episodes in season 2? I meant that. My runner-up least favorite is Hollow Mind.
I see it.
Ooh, go on.
It was like a reveal lore episode, of which something that we already knew, so it was like not that impactful. And also, the real reason I put this on here is because this was probably in my memory when I was putting this list together, my least favorite like single moment was just the start of that episode, which was just so confusing of like an opening sequence.
Really, you guys really hate that? Oh, I like that. I mean that opening. I mean the episode. I don't know. I think aesthetically that episode rules like a lot, but I do think that like
and we do get that, and we do get an actually new reveal in that of like Hunter of there being like so many previous Hunters.
Yeah, I just think because even I remember like the fandom reaction to it of it being like, you know, no way, like it's Philip, no way. It's like. Yeah, of course it was, you know, like I just feel like
Philip. We figured out like as
I
soon
feel
as
like
Philip
they could have
mentioned.
If they wanted that episode to be that reveal, they could have been more subtle about it, or they could have like revealed that in the episode immediately and had the tension and reveals come from more so the Hunter thing and other stuff.
I want to know the timeline where we didn't already know Hunter was a Grimwalker and we watched his episode.
Yeah, that too. I forgot about that too. Yeah, I wouldn't rate that one among my least favorites really much at all. I don't think there's definitely more that I just have no memory of.
Like I gave that one an 8, I think. So like I liked the episode. It's just like there were so many good episodes. I had to choose one that I had some particularly memorable negative feelings towards, and that was that one.
Well, so I already said my least favorite was Keeping Up Appearances. I'm going to change my runner-up. I have 2 listed because I didn't know which one to go with. So originally my runner-up was Any Sport in the Storm, but I'm like, you know what? No, that had Hunter in it. I remember it. Lilo's cute. That one can be okay. So now my new runner-up is Through the Looking Glass Ruins, because what the hell did Amity and Luz do in that episode? I do not remember that at all.
I can't believe you guys forgot about this. Like literally, I
don't remember.
It was so weird. Like in the beginning of the episode, Luz and Gus were together, and then they met these like new friends from another school, and then they split up, and Gus spent half the episode was Gus with new friends who turned out to be enemies, and half the episode was Luce in the library with Amity, and Amity lost her job and like got fired, and then dyed her hair. And then she kissed her on the cheek at the end.
Like I remember the Gus thing, like the title of the episode that reads to me like, oh yeah, this was the Gus one where like they met the old man who turned to a ghost. I also looked at it on the wiki page and stuff. But you explaining that Amity thing, I straight up like completely do not remember that at all.
That's why, yeah, like the Gus part of that episode is like fine. I don't really have anything bad to say about it. It's like an average episode, and the other half is like big emotional moments with some of the main characters, and it's like, what is happening in this episode?
I don't even remember that. I'm sure you just said what happened in the episode, and I've already forgotten. like what was the big emotional moments?
Amity, like Luz got Amity fired from her job at the library.
Oh fuck! And then she helped to get rehired.
Yeah.
And then Amity spoke to her siblings and then changed her hair color.
Mm-hmm. And then she kissed her on the cheek.
To abomination, quote unquote abomination colored. Yeah, okay. But yeah, you're right. Those were good moments. So I understand.
Oh yeah, wait. She found the damn rat in this episode too.
Yes.
Well,
this is when Philip was introduced, this episode. What the How do I not remember? Now I remember it looking at the pictures. But wow, from my immediate memory, this was completely God.
Do we have a like overall winner for least favorite episode?
We need to say all of ours again because I don't remember now.
Separate Tides, Hollow
I
Mind.
think it's definitely Keeping Up Appearances because we mentioned that like 6 times. So
oh yeah, true.
I think that's our least favorite.
Okay, well there we go. Keeping Up Appearances is the worst episode of Owl House Season 2.
I disagree with that, but sure, it's fine.
By majority of us is seemingly the least favorite. My dad's like power washing or something outside, so that's
perfect. Good. Every time any recording happens, someone's like, I'm gonna bust out the old chainsaw today.
All right, welcome back. So that was our least favorite episode, the discussion there. I do want to just look at what was like our lowest. So our lowest average score episode, based on our ratings, was Any Sport in a Storm, which which I guess I can see, but again, I mean, Tipsy dragged it down with like the 4 she gave it or whatever, but she didn't pay attention. She was sleepy.
Yeah, so I didn't bother mentioning it here because I haven't actually rewatched it, and I think I'd like it a lot more now that I've seen the rest of the season.
Yeah. So before we get to our next category, we do just got to get through our commercial breaks here. So let's here we go. Our next one. We got it didn't open in the wrong damn window. Hang on. All right, here we go.
Oh, good.
This is another. This one's a video game actually. This is just still from the game. The game's not called iStalk. The game's called Santa with a Gun. So
shoot me, Santa Claus.
Take with that what you will. I think it's gonna be a mobile game, as you could probably assume. I don't know. They gave me some money to show this off, so here's like a promo pic.
Do you think he's going to be the next Tumblr Sexy Man?
It could, especially it being a mobile game. There's definitely very likely a market for that. So keep that in mind. Pre-register now for all the news updates when the game releases summer 2019. All right. Anyways, let's get going. Here's the main
summer 2019.
All right. Next up is favorite heartfelt moment. I feel like I should have had like some romantic music ready for this one. But this is kind of a very general one where we just want to think about scenes that made us say "daw."
Yeah, I will say, like, reading that like description you wrote here, I think we're supposed to choose like cute moments. That's not what I did. I chose sad moments.
No, that's fine too, because we probably picked the same one then in that context. Like, this is just any wholesome or emotional moment. Heartfelt moment is probably a better explanation than the description I wrote. So I apologize for that. But there we go. So Tulip, you can go first then. Go ahead.
Okay, my number one heartfelt moment was the Luz and Amity dad flower scene.
There we go. That's Nick. That's Nick's number one as well. I mean, weirdly, one of the more iconic things about that moment is just how, like how jarring, but like kind of in a good way it was in that episode. Like that was kind of like a more quirky episode, and then like they smack you in the face with that at the end, and like I feel like maybe that shouldn't work, but I think it did really work, and it's like
it really did.
It's such a strong thing that you wouldn't think would be covered in this show at all, and I think it was really amazing and well done.
Hey, I picked that too.
There we go.
And I guess we can move on to my runner-up heartfelt moment. Ida's Requiem, when Raine and Ida are doing their thing and they're gonna commit a murder-suicide together, but they don't because Raine sees that picture, says, Ida, do you have kids?
Oh crap, I forgot about that.
Yeah, I didn't remember that one.
Oh no.
It wasn't my actual runner-up, but I did write down like in a list here when Raine and Ida were playing music together too. That was my favorite Raine and Ida moment there. But there's plenty with those two that would work for this category.
Right, so I didn't actually put anything down for this, so I was kind of hoping that you guys would remember more of this season than I did. Now that we've talked about it a little bit, one of my favourite moments has to be the end of O Titan, Where Art Thou, wherein Ida, Luz and King are sitting together inside the cat space and just like being together one last time, spending a family moment before the end of the world, and Ida helps Luz carve her Palisman. I thought that was very, very touching. And my runner-up would probably be, now that Tulips mentioned it, the very raw suicide mission of Ida and Raine, and playing the music until Raine finds out that Ida's running away from a painful life and trying to sacrifice herself. And I don't know, I feel like there's something just so raw about that moment that it has to get a mention somewhere as an amazing heartfelt scene. So those two would probably be my favourites.
Yeah, and for this one, I guess like I was less in thinking of like finale zone episodes, but like I really could have considered. I'm not changing my choices now, but yeah, like the like balcony scene I think we mentioned earlier in the podcast.
That's my real runner-up for this.
So good.
That scene. That's such a good scene. That kind of goes hand in hand with the one Tipsy was just talking about with them at the end of O Titan. But I think the balcony one is a bit sweeter for me. I think even just like Ida being like, oh, I know you want to go save your girlfriend. Like, I think that is just so cute. Like, just even that little like bit of that scene is like one of the cutest things in the show.
All of those are tied for runner-up, but also Ida, like, I think it was Lilith she broke down to and said, like, they're just kids, they shouldn't have to deal with this.
Oh my god.
That line really, like, smacked me. Especially because, like, you're used to, like, so many of these cartoons, like, almost all of them are about youngins. And you're like, oh, our hero, like Finn, he's invincible, and all these characters, Luz, she's so cool and invincible, and then you're like, oh yeah, they're just kids, like, they shouldn't have to deal with this, like, really, this is so heavy, and I'm like, oh, that's good. Also, the end of the finale when King knocks them all into the door after saying that Luz was, like, his big sister, I was like, oh my god.
That's good. You saying that reminds me of King's, at the end of Edge of the World it was called, when he's talking to the corpse of the other Titan. He's like,
oh
like,
yeah,
hi, or whatever he said there, like, hi. Did he say hi dad, or did he say like hi I'm king or something like that? That was a great moment.
Can I just like remind you all of the scene where Ida officially adopts King and then King does a broadcast to the entire world looking for his father?
Good King moment. I mean, they made us change our minds about King a little bit for sure.
Yeah.
I think at the start of the season we definitely still had those complaints about him being like weirdly emotional, but like especially the arc they give him about his powers and his origin and stuff, like they make it communicate so much better. So it actually ends up like you see why he's emotional. Whereas season one, because it had so many tropey episodes, it was like, half of it wanted King to just be like comic relief, and then half of it wanted him to be emotional, and just didn't work. This season definitely went more like all in on him being emotional, and that made it work a lot more.
To this day, I still wake up in the middle of the night in a cold rage over that one scene where they were stuck in a box during the author episode. And King is like, I hurt you. I'm sorry. I was like, no, I can't.
Yeah, that whole episode is like my defining, like when I say season 1 was tropey. Like, yeah, the episode where King became an author. That is a very weirdly tropey episode.
Okay, so I think the overall winner is the flower moment.
3 of us picked the flower moment. Yeah. So.
Yeah, the dad moment. Yeah. So that one's for sure. I also wrote down Lumity moments with the question mark because there were so many of them. But I think in it was the pre-finale, right, where they had like their well-animated kiss. That was definitely very cute. I guess Luz's dad death, as I wrote it here, is also a Lumity scene.
That was a factor for me.
My favourite Lumity scene is definitely the one where Hunter's trying to convince Amity that Luz has told her that she needs to get the thing or else. I just kind of like enjoy that sort of they have to work for their relationship kind of thing, rather than it all being hunky-dory for the whole season like it was for the most part. I prefer what kind of energy it brings out, what the relationship offers to characters, to just a relationship existing in general.
Another good Lumity moment, her mom being supportive and saying, I'll find you a new girlfriend who isn't a criminal.
Not being supportive.
Well, at least you know her mother's not diversity when...
Exactly, that's what I mean.
Amity's mother isn't homophobic, she's just classist.
Homophobia does not exist on the Boiling Isles.
All right, so congratulations, Luz's dad death for being the best scene, the best heartfelt scene.
Yeah,
okay.
This one really was not easy.
Favorite main character?
Yeah, this one's hard because there's a lot of characters. Like,
no, this one was easy for me because it didn't change at all since my last award rankings. My number 1 is Ida, and my number 2 is
this is favorite main character award, by the way. There we go. Okay.
Yep.
I just checked my old answers and mine didn't change either. That's funny.
Mine have completely changed.
I don't know what mine were. I didn't look.
I've got Amity as my fave and Luz as my runner-up.
Mm-hmm. I think I'm gonna. I have Luz written right now, but I think with how much we've talked about Amity here, and especially that I said Eclipse Lake's my favorite, I think I'm gonna swap that for Amity. I think I just wasn't sure if I was considering Amity a main character or not, but I also wrote it in the notes that she is a main character. So, yeah, I'm gonna say Amity over Luz, but they're both great. Like, Luz has more emotion this season, where she's very conflicted about wanting to see her mom again, but also not wanting to leave, but knowing that she has to leave, and then like not knowing if her mom's okay and stuff like that. Like, that aspect of her is really good. But I think Amity's dynamic of like falling in love for her first time and like having strict parents and stuff, I feel like that ends up being more interesting to me.
They're pretty much interchangeable for me. Like, if I had Luz in number 1 and Amity runner-up, I'd be fine with that too. I'd like them so much. But then, like, also the rest of the cast is, like, right there also. Like, they have a lot of really, really good characters.
But you know what? You ready for a controversial opinion right here? Ready for a controversial opinion? I think just in terms of visual design, I like Amity's green hair look more than her new one.
I agree.
I do think her green
not
hair
that it's even important, but...
It's definitely a better character design. I do love the colour purple, but Amity's green hair is just a better character design, I think.
It just feels more interesting and iconic the way she... I mean, she still has a little bit of brown in her purple hair, right? But I don't know, the way...
A little
She does.
No, it's funny. To me, it's like when my friend has, like, they dye their hair, and I really, really liked their old color a lot, and I thought it looked better on them, but then I noticed that they're way happier with the new color. It makes me like the new color more.
Yeah,
I feel the same way about Amity, where I'm like, I'm so happy for her. So
it was
I like
not just the color, she changed her haircut, too.
That's true.
Yeah.
I think totally it's a matter... Like, I'm just thinking not even character development, I'm just thinking, like, visual design. because she was kind of an antagonist in season 1 too, like that green look, the way it was tied up, like that is such a good like kind of mean girl design, and she's definitely not that kind of character anymore, so it makes sense for it to be changed for sure. But I think just as a design, I think that original looks better. But I don't know, this isn't even an important thing to talk about. I wonder what other people think about that.
Oh god. Well, if you're asking, I can tell you what I think about it. Like, I have a love-hate relationship with Amity's character, I suppose. Like, I know that she's one of many very nice, pleasant characters in the Owl House, but I feel like I was saying a moment ago, what I like the most is what kind of sides she bring out of each of the characters. I feel like we didn't get many sides to Amity this season. Even though she got a lot of screen time, we did get moments of awkwardness with her relationship, and they do a wonderful job at presenting the teenage relationship, but there's nothing in the season that compels me to scream, oh wow, Amity is my favourite character in season 2. Not like in season 1, where I found her quite compelling, but you know, as a mean girl who's trying her best to actually be the best at everything, and is, you know, kind of under a lot of pressure because loses fucking things up, which is great. But, you know, so... And I think the haircut, I really love the colour purple, and I love her little winter outfit in the snow episode. But yeah. I'd like to see more fire under Amity. I'd like to see her making mistakes more often, and, you know, some actual fire to her character, rather than her just being really nice forever now.
I think that's a fair criticism.
True.
At least she's not awkward and lovey-dovey like she was in that one season 1 episode.
At least she's not Willow.
Rude, but yeah, okay. My runner-up character, which I was mentioning a little bit before, basically said everything that I meant to say about him. But my runner-up is King, surprisingly.
Wow.
Nice.
Because I was saying, I just think they did such a good job with his emotional arc here, and like the reveal of him being a Titan makes, especially if you look back on the show, like it makes it so much more interesting. I think, you know, he had maybe like 3 or 4 episodes kind of actually dedicated to him. Like I feel like other characters clearly got more attention than he did, but I think they got some emotion out of me with some of the stuff that they had him go through and learn and stuff. So I think that he's worthy of being raised up here to my runner-up.
Can I just say how annoying it is that you have like 6 favourite character categories?
Yeah, I know, I'm sorry.
Oh my god.
I definitely could have just cut one of these.
We could have had like 2, maybe 2, but now we have 6. So now what do we do?
It's because I had our season 1 thing and then added to it, and I was like, I can't get rid of that, right?
Okay, well, good news is I had a different character for every single one of them. So, yeah. You know, so I don't know, my favourite main character this season was actually Gus, of all people. Now, the reason it's Gus is because, like, everybody who I liked last season, I still like this season, but I like a little bit less. But
You're
Gus...
crazy.
I did not like Gus. I did not like Gus or King last season. I did not like either of them at all. But then Gus was like the main character in my favourite episode of the season. Mm-hmm. I like how weirdly overpowered he turned out to be. First of all, I like that he grew up along with his voice actor, even if it was very, very silly. I like that he grew up. But I like that he ended up getting this sort of character of his own, which I don't feel like they accomplished with Willow. I'm going to be honest. I don't think they did a good job with Willow this season or last season. But I feel like they did a good job at Gus and making him stand up for himself and making him really feel like he was able to develop his own relationships outside of being Willow's best friend or Luz's best friend. He really felt like, you know, a character that I enjoy following. So Gus was my favourite main character this season, mostly because of how different I feel about him now to how I felt about him in season 1. I feel like he's the most improved character at the very least. That's definitely the prize I would give him.
Most improved character would have been an interesting...
Yeah, most improved character. King would be the second most improved character. For my second favourite character this season, I was stuck between King and Hooty. Because I thought they were both amazing. I thought Hooty was amazing every single time we saw Hooty. It's like, it really builds upon that scene in the pre-season finale.
I didn't even consider Hooty, but Hooty was great this season.
Yeah, Hooty was just amazing, like an absolute chaos gremlin, and every time they did something, like, it was so Adventure Time tier cursed. I absolutely loved it. I loved when Hooty's skeleton was like abandoned somewhere. It was drying out or something. I thought that was messed up, and I loved it. I loved that Hooty can apparently expand his insides to improve the size of the owl house. I love that Hooty is a demon. Hooty's a demon?
Yeah, a bug type demon.
And not a Palisman type. I don't know. Hooty is the owl house. I just love every single Hooty scene this season. Once again, King would be like the second most improved character, but Hooty definitely made me smile every time he was on screen. So Hooty is my second favourite main character this season.
Yeah, that's very, very fair. I didn't even consider that. And also, this is called the Hooty Awards, and this is our first time mentioning him in this entire thing. We've been talking for like 2 hours, and we just mentioned it.
Wow.
Did anyone else have a runner-up they didn't say?
I said mine.
Chan?
Yeah, mine was loose. I said mine too.
Do we even have much of a consensus on this
I mean,
one, then?
didn't 2 of us say Amity? We win. Haha.
I think a lot of us talked about Amity, so...
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Congratulations, Amity.
As a reminder, because I didn't really talk about it, my favorites are Ida, Amity.
Okay, then Amity wins. Good job, Amity.
I'm not going to elaborate on this. Just Ida, just everything about her.
No further discussion.
Great.
Amity, unfortunately, cannot come here to earn the
prize.
to get the prize. She's too busy crying because we made fun of her haircut. All right. I guess we need a commercial real quick. Coming this summer.
Okay, so this is consistent.
Brandon was a regular green dinosaur. You know, he was eating plants, he was eating animals, he was an omnivore dinosaur.
It doesn't look like it.
You know, until he met the love of his life.
Oh! A goth dinosaur.
Yeah, I know. Very interesting dynamic in this one. Coming this summer is Dino Heart.
Why not
Dino
Gothosaur?
Is he no longer an
That's his
omnivore?
name,
like,
I
what
think.
happened? Like, why did he change his diet? I have questions.
Oh, I want to watch this.
Well, we'll email dinoheart@dinoheart.com if you have any questions. Tune in for the trailer premiere this summer.
They really worked on Gothosaur's character in season 2. I respect
Disney's
it.
first gay character.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's Lose It If.
Disney's first traditionally animated movie coming this summer. Gothosaur.
Okay. All right.
Favorite
Next category
new
is
character.
favorite new character. Yes.
Okay, we all know who's gonna come away with the prize on this one, right?
Just because Nick picks Hunter doesn't mean that we all pick Hunter.
Ooh.
Okay, but we'll have Hunter, like, as our second favourite or something, right?
Yeah, mine's second favorite.
Yeah, mine's like favorite.
But there were, I know it's kind of confusing because there's also a villain category, but like there was a handful of new characters.
Well, yeah, I picked Raine. Raine is my
For a
number
while
one.
I had Hunter. I did not want to choose Hunter in this category because I had him in the next category, which, by the way, the next category is like kind of confusing, but we'll get to that. But then I came up with a different answer there, and I moved Hunter up here, and like, he's good.
I have Raine as my number one.
Raine
I
is my
love
number
him.
one too.
Oh my god.
Raine's my runner-up.
Well, Raine wins. Raine wins.
Raine beats Hunter? Question mark?
Yes.
Right, okay. So, my favourite was the Collector.
There you go. That counts.
Yeah.
Like,
a
you know,
good
the
choice.
Collector just coming in, slamming the entire plot with a 10-ton truck the size of the moon. I don't know how it was 10 tons and the size of the moon. Just ask the Collector. And you know, as a killer theme tune, I really loved the Collector. And my second favourite was Hunter, who really grew on me over the season. I did not like Hunter at first. I didn't really like him until Hollow Mind, and then I was like, you know what, Hunter's fine. Hunter's fine. Then he was in my favourite episodes.
Was
so,
Hollow
you know.
Mind That was before the one when he was the school hiding, eating chips, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's Labyrinth Runners. So he was in Labyrinth Runners, and that was my favourite episode, largely because of Hunter. So Hunter ended up as my second favourite because of the last few episodes of the season and how like cathartic they were compared to his earlier appearances, in my opinion.
Raine's just really compelling. I love their voice acting a lot.
One of the things, I think I've mentioned this already, like, I'm so surprised that Raine was a main character, essentially. Like, I really thought Raine was going to appear in one episode.
Also,
And I'm so glad that they did not.
we haven't really talked about it, but the flashback episode with young Ida and Raine was a great
Yes!
episode. I loved it.
I mentioned before I had a really tough time deciding a favorite episode, and I really was considering that one.
Yeah, I loved it. They were really cute, and they're great. Okay, so what does that mean? Does that mean Raine wins, or does that mean Hunter wins? Well, two people have Raine
You
as
and
number
Michan
one.
both have Raine as our number one.
So Hunter loses. Yes, we won.
Yeah.
Hunter.
I think Raine wins.
Nice. That's
But I
not what
would
I
put-
expected.
Yeah, but it's a good surprise. But we all essentially picked the same ones. And Tipsy, honestly, I love the Collector too. I think it's just dragged down by him not appearing too much. Like if they had one more scene of him being really, really cool, he would be my favorite.
Yeah, the
Collector's
collector's
an
scene.
incredibly valid choice. I'm very much looking forward to seeing more of him. We just not that much yet.
The collector's scene at the end was incredible, but like the entire season, I was just like, all right, who's that? I don't care that much. Like I was like not really into that.
Yeah.
Like
No, but I think even when we didn't know much, just like when he was
no.
like a concept, I think it was still really cool because I was
For
still like,
sure.
who is this? What's going on? Look at the design. Look at him turning into
mystery, yeah.
the shape shifting and stuff. Like it's very cool. I just wish we had one more like powerful moment of them. But anyways, congratulations, Raine.
Play Ida's Requiem for the. Oh wait, because you didn't know Raine would win. Never mind, you get a pass.
Yeah. Why would he have like a song prepared for a character?
Yeah, can
He
you
had no
can you
idea
prepare a
was going
song
to
for every individual character, please?
I don't want to know. I don't want to know everyone's votes until we start talking about them, though.
No, I mean,
win? Yeah, but if
you have to
one
just
for every
pick.
character. You can just play one of the correct song,
Yeah,
and the character wins.
I'm not saying you look ahead of time. I'm saying you make a song for every character in the whole series, and you're prepared for anyone
okay,
to win.
I see what you mean. Okay.
Next time.
Make one for Bartholomew.
Yeah.
Right, okay, favourite Empress Coven. Remember, mine was Rain. I'll just get out the Ray right away.
Oh,
oops.
yeah.
I guess I could have said that technically.
I forgot to even think about Rain as that. As an Emperor's Coven member.
For
I
this,
didn't
I
think
was-
Rain counted. Yeah.
I was thinking that counts. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I was thinking more specifically an Emperor's Coven member who's like has a more of a villain role. But I guess Rain
But
did
he's
for
got
like 2
favourite
episodes.
antagonist as well.
Yeah, but that's separate because
I
there's
picked-
monsters and
I
stuff.
picked Darius because every time Darius was on screen,
There
I
we
was
go.
like, "You're awesome."
Yes.
Monster is an antagonist in season 2.
The thing from the episode that we all forgot.
That's a spoiler. We are not on that category yet. I picked
Yeah, Tipsy,
Darius
sit,
as my.
sit back down, Tipsy.
I picked Darius as my number 1, and I have Scary Grandma as my number 2. But her name is Tara. But I like Scary Grandma.
Terra Snapdragon. I had Terra Snapdragon as my runner-up for a while because she was the only one I kind of remembered. And she had good moments. She wanted to kill those kids, and that was funny. But at the end, I swapped her out for Darius. This is my runner-up that I'm talking about right now, but because we were just talking about this. Because Darius, I was thinking about it, and I was like, yeah, he's just like really cool.
His introduction was awesome.
He's like chill,
Yeah.
kind of. I just have a good time whenever he's on screen.
Yeah, he's cool. He was my winner. I don't know if I said that. He's my winner.
Darius was my runner-up as well. I really like his creepy powers and how he transformed his entire body into an abomination, and
I
how
love
he kind
how
of
he
looks like
is an abomination. It's
he's
kind
so villain coded and so scary, but like he's actually a really cool guy.
But he's also like as opposed to Tara, he's like he's kind of a bad guy, but he's like, oh, this is weird what the Emperor's doing. I'm gonna go side with the people who aren't gonna kill me, like sort of thing. Like
Yeah.
he has he just
And
knows.
by the way, so far we've mentioned Rain, Darius, and Terra, who are all not part of the Emperor's Coven. They're the heads of other covens. That's why I was confused about like.
That's
Wait,
what I
what?
meant. I'm sorry. I that's what I meant.
Oh, I just assumed that's what Nick meant. Yeah.
Yeah.
But my number one, my number one winner for Emperor's Coven member category is Philip himself.
Oh my god.
Yeah. Okay.
I took Philip as the that one guard, Steve. I thought you picked Steve. I was like,
No.
Philip, really?
You know what? Steve would be a good pick because there's not many Emperor's Coven members that are actually Emperor's Coven members and not,
Yeah.
I meant the head
heads.
witches. I meant the bad guys. Whatever.
Yeah. And anyway, Tulip, elaborate. Quick.
We don't get a whole lot of him in the show. So I think whenever he does show up, they're like, this is the main villain. We're going to give you big villain vibes from him. Well, I guess Belos is, his modern incarnation.
He does
but
have
he's
a commanding presence for sure.
Yeah, and it's season 2 in a way. So much happened in season 2. But you could say it's like Philip the season. Because we're learning about his backstory in the background all throughout it. And we knew that he was the Emperor from minute 1. But, it was cool to see it play out.
Yeah.
And again, I'm just thinking about how in the finale, Luz was talking to him, and I think, she called him Belos, and he said, please, we're both humans. Just call me Philip. It was just really cool that they had, because even whenever he appeared and he was the big bad, we have so little moments of him and Luz together as, the main character and the main villain, and I just loved what little we did get there.
You mentioned the Emperor, so now will we move on to the next category, or?
Nick's runner-up for favorite Coven member was Kiki Mora, but nobody else said that, so I guess I don't have to elaborate because nobody else.
Kiki Mora is actually an Emperor's Coven member.
Yeah, you're right. Oh my god.
Who won?
Darius wins, I think.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm chewing something. Okay. Next category, favorite antagonist award, which I guess because we're all confused, and I apologize. You guys could have told me that you were confused as we were voting, but that's okay.
No, I had to complain about at length during the video, like a mature person.
Antagonist award was meant to be very, more so a one-off villain, like a adversary that was apparent for one episode, which kind of happens more so, more in the first half of the season, I guess, which is what we don't remember much about. But yeah.
Right. I wasn't confused about antagonist. I was just not sure if by Emperor's Coven member you meant the Coven heads, but I assumed you must have, because there's no Emperor's Coven characters basically.
Listen, like I said in our season finale video, I don't know what the hell a Coven is, so I don't know. I don't know. You guys think very specifically about this stuff because you understand it a lot more than I do, so I apologize for that one.
But anyway, my favourite antagonist was Terra Snapdragon. Welcome to Heck. I really like this character. I wanted to talk about her a second ago, but knew I had her here, so I didn't. Anyway, I really like how she doesn't give a fuck. She's ride or die. She doesn't care and will get everyone killed for fun if she wants. I don't know, there's something I really appreciate about that sort of mad character. But at the same time, she's a bit of a loser because she was totally tricked by Belos, thinking that he was going to make some paradise.
She was also tricked by Raine.
You know what? Yeah, she was tricked by Raine. And you know what? I would have really liked it if Terra was better than both of them. Can you imagine the absolute Chad energy if not only did Terra know that Raine had tricked her and was preparing a backup plan, which I think she did. I think she did know that Raine had tricked her because she she pulls Raine back towards her, doesn't she? I think Terra did know, or at least identify that Raine had set them up. But then when she turns to Raine and says, "Raine, Belos is making paradise, right?" and Raine just shakes their head. I simultaneously thought that was a brilliant scene and that it was a stupid one. Imagine if Terra was just absolutely insane and didn't care if everybody died and would just wanted it to happen.
She kind of seemed like that kind of character before, too.
Yeah. If Terra was like that, absolutely understanding what's going on but doesn't care, then God, she'd probably be one of my favourite characters this season. But she's my favourite antagonist instead. I especially liked how scary she was compared to other characters. And I kind of wish they doubled down on her being that kind of madman who does not give a damn. So, my second favourite was Belos. because Belos is just terrifying. I think my favourite line of dialogue from Belos in the entire show is when Hikikomori asks what she's supposed to do, and Belos just says, "Find a ditch and lie in it." And also when Belos talks during his propaganda scene with the draining spell, he heavily implies that people are going to go to hell if they don't get their Coven insignias, and I was like, this guy is just such a real villain in this little cartoon. He's not just a cartoon villain, he's a real life villain.
Tipsy,
and I'm absolutely here for it.
Can you read the parentheses for me, please?
A one episode appearance monster villain, not Emperor or Hunter. Collector can be chosen for this, so we can choose the Collector.
Okay, yeah. Mm-hmm.
But okay. I don't care. Belos is my favourite antagonist.
It's fine.
I chose the Collector for this.
There we go.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah. The Collector, there's not enough of him yet, I feel, to have to get a favorite character award. But he definitely deserves some kind of award. He has so much presence when he appeared right at the very end of the episode. What's going to happen? I don't know. But
he's cool. So the Collector is my runner-up. But my winner, which will explain more along the lines of what I meant for you guys to choose for this one, my winner is the Titan Egg Guardian stone creature thing from...
Oh, Nick, guess what I wrote for my runner-up?
Okay, well, there we go. Okay.
Jean-Luc. That's his name, by the way.
That was the name of it. They had a name, god damn it.
We're on the same wavelength because I purposely didn't pick, I picked monsters, that's it. And my number one is Metroid Scary Monster, which is who you're referring to.
Is that what you wrote? Is that how you wrote it?
And for my number two, I technically have Belos, but I specifically wrote the monster version of Belos because it's so cool. The inner I called him Inner Belos at first, but I think Inner Belos wasn't actually the monster in the dream, so just the monster version with all the Palismans and all that. Does that mean Metroid Scary Monster wins?
Yes? Well,
maybe?
Or is it the Collector? I have the Collector as number one, and Jean-Luc as two.
Did Tipsy say Collector?
That's my favourite new character.
That's your favourite new character, okay.
But not villain. Or antagonist, which is what we're on.
I think Titan Egg Guardian Metroid Jean-Luc is the winner, because it has two... It's the winner twice. So there we go.
It's the winner twice.
Okay, I mean it's good. It's the most memorable part of that episode for sure. We referred back to the Metroid Dread episode so many times throughout this podcast.
Yeah, it's such a cool horror thing, and I love that, and that's always going to stick with me for sure. So yeah, congratulations, monster that apparently has
Jean-Luc.
Yep.
King named him that at the end of the episode.
Yeah, I remember King saying that. I just don't remember the context. Okay. Now we got another quick word from our sponsor real quick, right here. I will never leave. I will never leave. Okay, there we go. There's our, there's our next sponsor. Okay. Next up is, even more confusing, favorite side character. Which could also be a villain, I guess.
What have you done?
I don't know. Yeah. Just fucking talk about characters you like.
Okay, favorite side characters. This is where I put Belos. Okay.
Yes, me too.
Because he's got this commanding presence, terrifying, well written, super cool, great voice acting, cool design, everything. That's why I pick. Yes.
And your runner-up?
Amity siblings. Once again.
Nice.
I went for because it's hard. I looked up side characters. I'm like, a lot of side characters, quote unquote, that I would have picked were kind of in the main character category, I guess. Because it's to me, Gus and Willow are side characters, not main characters, but they were under the parentheses of main characters.
They're on the line. I don't know.
Yeah. But I don't know. I just specifically because they were barely in the season, but just the way they talk to Amity when she's all stressed, but also when we saw Edric. Is it Edric? Elric? Yeah. Edric?
Yeah. Edric.
When we saw Edric take the illusion magic off, and he had those glasses in that one episode, and all the potion making, it was really cute. I loved that.
Oh shit! My favorite side character just changed right now.
Because of what I said?
Yep.
Oh, nice.
Okay. I'll talk about my favorite side characters. I feel like cheated this whole category, kind of, because in my number one spot I have Edric and Emra, but mostly the reason I'm putting them here is because of everything Edric did in the wrestling episode.
Yeah, same.
That was like so fun. They got some little bit of development there, and then still in my number one category, I also said bonus Alador, because he like kind of became a real character this season. We got to see a little bit of him. And then my runner-up favorite side character, I said Cyclops Hatwoman from the past.
Of course.
I was gonna put a picture of her on your thing, but I wasn't sure if you were gonna remember what it was supposed to be.
Why are we obsessed with her again?
Cute.
She has a really good character design. I just saw her, and I was like, the second I saw her, I was like, oh, I'm in love, and then we don't see her again. But then we do see her again later in Hollow Mind, I think, because we saw the Emperor like flashback to that same time period, and I was like, oh, she's a character.
Wait, did the Emperor kill her?
Something like that. I don't know.
The Emperor killed the cute Cyclops lady.
Probably. I don't know. We had canon that she's still alive.
She's still alive. Okay.
She's super old.
Right. So my favorite is definitely Edric now. Like I think one of my favorite scenes is when they remove the illusion jobs and you realize that Edric is a spotty teenager who's growing his hair out, and Edador? No, not Edador. Emera is, what was Emera's quirk again? I forgot. What did she look like? Did she have spots as well?
Probably.
Yeah, no, she had acne. Edric, I don't think he had acne as much. He had, like, glasses and, like, different hair, I think.
Edric looked like a loser, and Emera was going through puberty. So I really enjoyed that reveal. I found that so funny. Like you know, like the Adventure Time kind of reveal of everything you thought you knew was wrong.
They're just normal guys.
So I've always loved them. I still love them. They're my favourite side characters. Alador was originally my top pick for this category because I really liked that Alador is this sort of complicated bad parent who kind of learns from his mistakes over time, like learns to connect to his daughter. She doesn't accept him straight away. Not by any means. Amity is very arm's length with Alador. But Alador, while he's a complete pushover and he lets his wife get away with way too much stuff, he does have his principles. Like, I think one of the... I said it was my least favourite episode, but I think my favourite part of Escape and Expulsion is when Alador just tells his wife, a Bright keeps their word. And she's like, well, fuck, I guess I have a reputation to uphold. I don't know, I just liked something about that. Like, he's a complicated relative. He's not just evil, and he's not good either. And they really do a good job at showing him being a bad parent, but also learning to do better over time. So I really like Alador.
But does that mean Belos wins?
I mean, Belos shouldn't have been chosen for this category.
Belos is a favourite side character?
I think Amity's siblings.
I think Amity's siblings win.
Yeah. My runner-ups, because I didn't know what to pick for this, my runner-ups, I said Raine/Hunter, even though we already talked about them so much. But I would replace that with Amity's siblings now. I was thinking how, like, I feel like they didn't show up that much this season, but they did. They only played an actual role in this episode that we're talking about, but that was a really good thing. So I'll have them as my runner-up, and that makes them the winners.
Yeah.
But also my winner was Belos, but the true winner is Amity's siblings. Where's the music?
Rip, Cyclops Hatwoman. Respect.
I'm sorry, Cyclops Hatwoman. Favorite background character, Cyclops Hatwoman. Okay.
I had trouble with least favorite, honestly.
I had some trouble here, but I was just like, I gotta pick something.
Okay, my least favourite character was Bartholomew, as always. I have not changed my thoughts on him very much since the previous season. I did like the episode he was in this season, but I didn't like it enough for him to stop being my least favourite character. And I noticed that he showed up again at Hexside later this season, and I was like, what the fuck? Anyway, I don't like Bartholomew, and I hope he dies and we never see him again.
Describe how you want him to die.
I want him to be sacrificed, like the character in Wizard City. Remember?
Yeah. Perfect. He's the same character. They're just the same character.
How did you feel about when Steve took off his mask and he looks like he's probably related to Bartholomew?
It's like the cooler Bartholomew.
I want any trace of Bartholomew to be undone by the collector, so any hint or suggestion...
Sorry, Steve.
Any hint
Sorry,
or
Steve,
suggestion
you gotta
of Bartholomew is Bartholomew no more.
Steve's gotta go.
Bartholomew's not
Oh
my
my
pick.
God.
I don't care about him at all. I don't hate him.
Right. Okay, but I want to talk about my runner-up, which is Widow.
Ooh,
Really?
Oh no.
Yeah, Widow is my runner-up because, like, whenever I think of, like, a character who is, like, the main character's best friend, but they never do anything again with that character, Widow is definitely at the top of my list of that sort of character trope of useless friend, or absolutely irrelevant friend, because they try and make out that Widow's had all this character growth, but she really, like, she hasn't earned the idea that she has really grown from who she was before, in my opinion. We haven't had enough screen time and development for her to feel satisfactory for me, and they keep trying to tell us that we should feel that way, and I don't like that. I don't like being told how I should feel about a character that the show clearly doesn't give a damn about. So Widow is my least favourite main character and my second least favourite character this season, unless we talk about Kikimora, because I don't like Kikimora, but I do appreciate Kikimora's character at least. I think Widow is just there. Even, like, I talked about how much I like Gus this season. Widow did not get anywhere near the amount of good work that Gus did, and yet she's still there. So, and they still want us to convince us that she did. So I don't like Widow.
Damn.
No.
I thought we were starting to like Willow.
Well, here's the thing. Here's the thing about Willow. They got me because she is so cute, and her voice actress is so cute, and I'm like, dang it!
Exactly.
And she does these cute little things like the 5-second rule with breathing.
Dude, Willow has some good moments for sure. I think what
But-
Tipsy was saying is that she doesn't have like a lot of character development
Yeah.
stuff. the way
That's
that
what
he
I
does get.
totally agree with everything she said. So, yeah, but...
My least favorite character is Professor Hermunculus. Do you remember this guy? Because they
No.
tell you should not remember him.
I thought you were going to say Professor Bump then, and I was like, okay.
Who's Professor Homunculus?
Professor
one who only
Hermunculus is
appeared-
the like mean sports teacher from Any Sport in the Storm.
Oh, yeah.
Like who's just acting like nothing he did made sense. I don't know.
The little
And
guy,
also-
right? Who's getting carried by an abomination? That guy? Or
Yeah, him.
Okay.
Because he's the abomination teacher. That's why he's named Hermunculus. But he also does sports, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah.
I just put him down like Any Sport in a Storm. You know, it's not really. It's pretty middle of the road, I guess, as an episode. I don't hate it. I do think it feels the most like a season 1 episode out of any of the season 2 episodes. And like random school teacher man number 2 being there was a contributor to that, and also like Tibbles in that episode and stuff.
Yes.
So I just kind of put him there as a symbol of that, I guess.
What you said leads into my winner being Tibbles.
Oh wow.
Because what episode even was that he showed up in?
the one
Oh yeah, that was
Tipsy
Any
didn't
Sport in a
watch.
Storm.
It was okay. That's a pretty fucking bad episode.
Yeah, and also that one has, you know, we were just talking about Willow. That one has Willow saying like, "I'm just half a witch," which is something like I thought she had dealt with already, but
Yeah.
they just brought it back for
Yeah.
that. So she
Yeah.
could relate to
Yeah.
Hunter, which is like kind of neat, but whatever.
Yeah. Well, because what in the Looking Glass Ruins, I was talking about how I don't remember the Luz subplot of that one at all. But that Luz subplot was apparently very significant. So I guess I do remember that. But in contrast to that, then the Sport in the Storm subplot was like probably the dumbest subplot the show has ever had because it was completely useless and reintroduced Tibbles for no reason, and it like seemed like it was setting something up that would be cool, but
Yeah,
it was
it
very
really
obviously
did.
it was very
did not
obviously going to set it up in like a
follow up.
subversive way, and then they just made the subversive way even worse by making it Tibbles. So there you go. And Bartholomew, right? Wasn't it both of them?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Was he? No,
Yeah, he
it was,
was there. No, he was
Tiny
there.
Nose. Tiny Nose, like, was definitely there.
He was there. I remember specifically that he was carrying a book.
We recognized in our review of that like it's definitely self-aware that like those are two like kind of crummy, stupid, generic villain dudes that they had team up for this funny subplot. But the fact that they like seemed like they were maybe going to lead that into something that was interesting is what really ruined it.
My runner-up character is Kikimora, and I feel bad about this because I had her as one of my favorite categories, like last time we did awards. But in season 1, she she didn't do much, you know, so
Yeah.
like I kind of made her my favorite just because she was mysterious and a very good character design. But like all of her appearances in season 2, she just became more like pathetic.
I
And it
think
was
you
not
liked
fun
her
to
so
watch.
much because she had so much potential. Like,
Yeah,
where
exactly.
even in like she has a spot in the theme song, you know. Like,
Yeah.
she's right there, and then like you see like the flip, you know, Hunter's there, Lilith's there. I mean, even Lilith, you could argue like she didn't really do
Yeah,
much.
Lilith vanishes.
Yeah, but that makes sense.
Yeah, I think Kiki Mora's cuteness still wins me over. I think she's still just about an average character for me. I wouldn't say I dislike her, but yeah, I think what they did with her.
Well,
wasn't the best
yeah,
thing
again, I don't hate her, but it was kind of hard to choose a least favorite character, like Chan was saying.
Yeah, I had trouble, so I kind of went instead of like my least favorite. I hate them to like characters that I was disappointed they didn't do more with or that were unremarkable.
Mm-hmm.
So I chose Adrian Gray, who's the Illusion Coven head, who was in just that one episode. Because I was like,
Oh yeah,
you were kind of
Yeah.
you were kind of unremarkable, and only served to give that thing to Gus and then disappear forever. Like, you know, I was like, whatever. My backup's Amity's mom. I don't know, she's fine.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
She's fine, you know. I enjoy the conflict she brings, I suppose,
Yeah,
to the family.
she's just very direct. There's
Yeah.
not. I mean, it's not like there's time to do anything more interesting with her.
Yeah.
Really. But like, yeah, she was very much just like she's the mean rich mom, and that's it. The end.
Did we have a winner for this category?
Wait, we didn't talk about Nick's runner-up,
Oh,
which is V.
Loose.
huh?
Sorry,
Which
go
is
ahead.
V, which I
Oh.
feel like is rude. But I don't know. I feel like we need to see more of her, which we will. She's just kind of a weird thing to introduce. I need to see what their ambition is with where she's gonna go.
I agree with that.
It really just seemed like an excuse to give us a Human World episode. I feel like she could even tie into Collector lore, sort of,
Yeah,
somehow.
well, I will admit that the reveal of who V is was kind of disappointing compared to the mystery of like who's this Luz imposter.
Yeah.
But that doesn't. I don't know. I agree that I was disappointed about that aspect specifically, but I think she's cute, and I hope to see more of her.
I feel like too, this is very, very cynical of me, I think. But I see her in fan art and stuff often too, and I just feel like she's one of those characters that they wrote because they were like, this will be so cute. Like, everyone will really like this character in her conflict, and she will be so cute, and the fandom will love her ooh bean. And like, I don't know, that bothers me.
No, I agree. I don't like her very much. I mean, I don't hate her, but I know very much that V's like one of those characters. You have to feel bad for this character. The show will tell you exactly how you're supposed to feel about this character and how tragic her story is. And I just felt, spoken down to. Like, I couldn't make my own opinions about V. I had to like her even though there was no substance to her. So I didn't like V.
Yeah, I have hope that they could make her more significant, but yeah, I think they were just like, she'll be cute. They'll like her, she'll be cute. And it's like, but like, what else is she gonna do?
I prefer characters who have some kind of agency over their own fate, which is why I didn't like Hunter at all during the first half of the season, because we were supposed to feel so bad for him. I didn't like him until he broke free from Belos. I feel the same for V. I won't like her until we get to see her being a bit more mischievous and doing her own thing rather than just being a victim.
I wonder if you would have liked V more if we got, to see more into, like, what was going on in her head while she was impersonating Luce.
I mean,
I'd like to see V being a little shit, like exactly what you say, seeing her try to impersonate Luce and then being really proud of herself when she manages to trick everyone, including Luce's mum. Like a bit more of a chaotic neutral kind of character who just wants some love rather than the pure victim that we got in the episode.
Yeah.
So who wins? Does anyone win this one?
I don't know.
Did
Bartholomew?
no.
Was
Did anyone else say
Kiki
Kikimora?
I mean, I
No.
could make it easy and change mine to V because I agree with that.
Oh my god! Are we gonna say V for our least favourite character? Are we really gonna do that?
I'm not changing mine, but you guys can do what you want.
Every character is the least favorite.
Yeah.
That wasn't even the song.
I love how that's your official conclusion.
All right. Next up, we got one more commercial real quick. I know we're running out of time, but we got to get through these. All right, here we go. coming this summer.
That's a lot of stuff in summer.
Gerald was a normal cactus, eating water from the sand, having birds and stuff eat his fruits, whatever goes on with the
Exactly the
cactuses.
same as the last advert.
No, it's different. It's a cactus. Let's keep going.
but until he met the love of his life.
Who's that? Wait. Is this
Spiny love coming this summer.
Romance stories.
Is this whole show an allegory for abusive relationships? Because that cactus does not look good.
Hey, well, you gotta see the movie and find out.
Oh, it's a movie.
Oh, but it's super romantic because even though he's so prickly and you know, he's like thorns, but he still needs love, and the man still loves him even though it hurts him every single step of the way.
Yeah.
See, yeah, that's what, you know.
But
I
then the
think that's
cactus, look at the way the cactus looks. Like, it's like a play on the trope that you can love someone even though they're toxic. No, it calls that out and say, like, that behavior is not okay. And that's why I love the cactus show, whatever it's called.
Spiny love.
Spiny love.
I feel like there might be something going on behind the scenes, like, you know, all the movie producing companies, you know, like got different copies of a leaked script, and all the movies coming out this summer are gonna be pretty similar to each other.
They're the same.
Aren't they
This is
always
the
like that
testimony.
though?
Yeah, it's true.
Okay, favorite location.
I feel like there weren't
Metroid Dread.
What?
Ooh, cool.
Oh, Metroid. I was gonna say, I feel like there weren't that many locations at the end of the day.
Yeah, I agreed. This was hard for me, but I picked some good choices, I think.
I also
Tipsy,
picked
go on.
Metroid Dread, by the way.
Yeah, Metroid Dread area, it was just spooky and cool. I don't remember most of it, but I do remember how the episode made me feel, and I enjoyed it. I liked the little alcove at the top where King was hiding, and how he clearly fell out of it when he was born or something. My second favourite location was the Titan Hunters area. I just liked the entire Monster Hunter vibe they
their
had
cool
going on there, but
bones.
also how they were like cultists, you know? They were living on another Titan. Like, the edge of the world, it's called, right? It's called the edge of the world.
This was my winner as well. Yes.
What, the Titan place?
So,
Yes, but also I wrote the "Oh Titan, where art thou, Titan," which is the wrong episode.
The wrong episode.
So yeah, those are my favourite places, the two King-related episodes and the various locations. I felt like they had the coolest lore, the coolest juxtaposition to each other, one being a Titan home and the other being a Titan Slayer place. So I felt like it was a good way of expanding the Owl House world, and that's why those are my favourite. How about you guys?
Identical. Literally.
Oh, wow. That's surprising.
Which one was the favorite and which one was the runner-up?
The Metroid Dread area was my favourite. The Titan Hunters home was my second favourite.
Okay.
Same.
My favorite location that I wrote down was Illusion Hexside.
Oh, I thought about doing that,
Yeah,
but I thought
that's
that was
a
cheating.
good one too.
That is a little bit cheating, isn't it? Because it's like a whole bunch of different locations.
I would have
altogether.
probably picked that, but I
But
didn't.
the fact that it's like a maze and people had to like find their way around because illusions were involved and
think-
sometimes people were disguised.
I think you're allowed to pick that, because there weren't that many locations.
The fact that Gus went full mob, question mark percentage, and just absolutely
Yeah,
changed
exactly.
the entire place with a secret power inside of him, I just love
It's
that
cool
so
for
much.
Gus and it looks cool and I like it and it's my favorite. And my runner-up location is the Deadwardian era.
Really? That's interesting. That's good.
But the past.
The past, yes, which
With
is kind of
Yeah,
also just a
Bluetooth.
representative of the fact that I really like that episode and I didn't choose it for my favorite. But I think it was very cool to see the past.
Neither of these are locations.
They are technically.
I actually picked. I picked past Boiling Isles as well before I switched mine to the Titan area. Actually.
I think setting
Yeah.
is a more appropriate word for that. Favorite setting, and I think those are great picks as well.
So Nick's favorite is the other Titan. I love the coloring of that place and like the whole bone designs and like the Emperor, or not Emperor, the Collector shrines and stuff like that was a very, very cool locale. And then my runner-up, the Metroid Dread place is cool, but I think aesthetically, Emperor's Mind is more my kind of creepy look. So I put Emperor's Mind as my runner-up. I love all those dead trees, all those dead hunters, the
You love those
creepy,
dead hunters.
like violent as hell some of the paintings were and stuff. Like Very, very cool.
I didn't put a lot of thought into my choices here. Now, you guys are talking about these other locations, and like, I like forgot to consider that the Emperor's Mind counts as like a location. I thought a little bit about the Edge of the World Other Titan, and I was like, it wasn't really much going on there, but there like was. I just forgot. There was bones and cult stuff.
So what wins? Does King's...
I mean, like, statistically, we have 2 number 1s on that. I could also argue that the Titan, the second Titan win, but I think probably King's.
Wait, Nick, did you choose Edge of the World Place as one of your winners?
That's my
okay,
winner.
then there's 3 total votes for that. I think that probably means that one's the winner.
Do we weigh winners more than runner-ups?
Yes,
okay.
But it's hard to do that off the top of our heads.
I really, really like that area, so I can definitely say that one wins then. That was a really cool setting.
Okay. All right, sure. Titan Hunter World wins. Okay.
This next category...
This is essentially the final category. The next 2 are just additional discussion point categories.
I'm going to go fast with it because I have 4 minutes.
Okay, go.
Favorites Owlbert, second favorites Flapjack, because like they're like the only 2 that mean anything.
Oh yeah, true. Those are the only 2 who are real characters.
Yeah. I was thinking more just like in general though, like Google Owl House Palisman and see which one you like the
like
most.
This category was me looking through the Palisman, page on the Owl House wiki and thinking about like, oh, which one's good. My number 1 is Maya, which is Basha's Palisman. It's a crab. And I picked it only because I think it's a very good crab character design. I'm gonna post it in the Discord. You can take a look.
Show it. I don't know it.
I saw this picture on the wiki and I was like, I really like that.
That's a Pokemon.
I really like how its eyes are on the claws and they're just sticking
It's 2
out.
Trapinches from
That's
Pokemon.
awesome.
It's a good cartoon character. I also rewatched the episode where everyone gets Palismans. I don't think we ever see this one from the front in the episode at all. My runner-up is Amity's cat, who's named Ghost, because I think that's a cool name, and it's a cute little white cat.
Cool name. I didn't know it was
That is
called
very
Ghost.
cool.
My favourite Palisman is Hunter's little guy, aka Flapjack. I think it's a really cool design. I like how Flapjack is clearly scarred and didn't like humans because it'd been mistreated so much, but it ended up returning to Caleb, its original owner, or an echo descendant of Caleb, and reminding him of who he truly was. I thought Flapjack was actually a really cool character, not just a cool Palisman, which we can't really say for any of the Palismans, including Albert. So Flapjack is a cool character and a cool little guy. My second favourite character, Palisman, not character, is Gus's little guy. I really like the design of Gus's Palisman. I think it's cool.
What is that? Wait, what is that one?
It's a chameleon.
It's a blue chameleon.
Chameleon? Okay, yeah, that's what I was thinking.
I thought it looked awesome, and it was really fitting for Gus because it's an illusion monster as well, just like Gus. My third favourite was Amity's cat because it's a fucking cat, and you know me by now, and also it's called Ghost. I didn't know that. That is absolutely epic.
There we go. Epic win.
Flapjack wins?
Oh, wait, Nick didn't say his.
Oh, yes, Nick.
But,
I'm sorry.
But yes, Flapjack probably wins. My favorite is actually Willow's bee, which is named Clover. I think it's really cute. And also, I met a Willow cosplayer at a convention who had that on her thing too, and I was like, yeah, wait, that's the cutest thing ever. So yeah, there we go. That's my favorite one. And then my runner-up is Flapjack. Because he has a cool design. I kind of forgot about that backstory aspect of it too. Like when I picked him anyways. Now I'm thinking about like, how it probably was Caleb's Palisman and stuff. Like there's going to be an interesting story there for sure.
We saw Caleb with the Palisman in one of the books that Bellos had.
Yeah, so Flapjack wins this one. This was like, we kind of breezed past this category, but I do appreciate Palisman's like little character designs. They're all pretty cool.
I hate that I have 1 minute left because I cheated and I changed your category, Nick. Because I was like, I don't remember a single commercial. You fast forwarded through all of them.
Yeah.
Right? Am I crazy?
So what about commercials you heard today then?
I changed the category to favorite moment in general because we did Heartfelt moment, but that doesn't count.
Yeah, go ahead.
Which is great, but I'm going to have to leave after I say mine. Feel free to continue. I'm very sorry. A moment that stood out to me that made me go like, oh my, like, blew my mind, fall out of my seat, cool, is when Luce hit the branding glove with the invisibility glyph and then branded the Emperor, and the Emperor just lost it because it's like, that's it. Like that was so cool. I loved that. So that was what I chose.
Very cool.
I don't know if we're actually doing that category.
I think what comes to my mind first, I think just because the visuals of it, that scene at the end of Elsewhen with Philip, like going to his little cave, and like you see the cut, like the glyph cuts on his arm, and then he like opens the collector's thing, and like that fancy silhouette face with all the moons and stuff shows up. And also in the background there's like a Grimwalker like being developed or something like that. That was a very cool moment. I love that moment.
My favourite moment this season has to be when everything from when the collector showed up in King's Tide.
That too.
Yes, absolutely, you're right. I agree completely with that. Thank you for saying that, because I was not prepared to come up with a favourite moment.
Just, you know, like such shifting time. I don't know. I just love that absolute wide-scale threat level that the collector had. Like, not just a planet destroyer, but potential universe destroyer. I don't know. I just found something incredible about that sort of scale.
For sure, it was awesome.
What I actually wrote down in the commercial category was I don't remember any commercials except for the one that spoils Amphibia Season 3.
Oh my god.
So that's your favorite?
I didn't pick up on that one, so I didn't have it spoiled, I guess, kind of.
Or whatever, I knew that spoiler before I watched Amphibia, and it did not harm my experience.
I like the cactus commercial that we just watched, but my favourite's the test dummy commercial, because test dummies live life on the edge and have a very exciting lifestyle together with lots of threat and potential drama as well, whereas the cactus will more likely be a traditional one person hurts the other kind of relationship. I like that sort of daredevil edge of the test crash dummies, you know? It's more dramatic and cool.
Yeah, for sure.
That's pretty good.
I don't know, I think the cactus one had more potential depth in there, because they were kind of like harming each other, you know? And I want to see how that plays out, and how, you know, if they're the one true love or whatever, like they said in the trailer, you know, I want to see how they deal with their problems.
Okay, what do you think of this one?
What is that?
Oh, that's my number one commercial of all time.
I don't know what to
Future
say.
corn lady.
What about this one?
I don't like that one. Get that one off.
Oh, God! I don't like that one at all.
What about this one?
That's like a rerun.
No.
This one?
Yeah, that was a rerun.
Oh,
Let's see
no,
what
that's a
happens.
different one. These are two different creepy baby heads.
Oh,
Why the two of them
okay.
are exactly the same?
Here's a
What
drink.
is that?
That's like a galaxy soda. That's pretty
There's an
awesome.
It's the Owl House.
Oh.
The Owl House.
Here's top 12 cartoon transitions once again.
Again?
We're not watching all the way through.
We gotta
this.
close it out with how we started it. No, okay. Well, there we go.
Do you want to talk about jokes? Did anyone write down any jokes?
My favourite joke was probably Hooty. Like
Yeah, that's
Hooty.
fair.
Yeah, I couldn't remember any. The only joke I remembered was witch puberty.
I didn't even think that was a season. You're right.
That was a very amazing World of Gumball kind of joke, I will admit.
We talked about my favorite joke, which was the illusion spell on Amity's siblings. That
Was a very good one. I didn't consider that a joke as much, but it was
The only one I remembered that I wrote down was the 20 more adventures joke. I think that.
yeah.
They did a good job
God.
of making that one like have good context. Like even though it's a meta joke, like it was still a pretty good joke. It wasn't like too forced.
When I was trying to remember jokes from the season, the first one that came to my mind was from a new Spartan Storm Hunter saying, "Yeah, kids my age like the things I like: authority and rules."
Yeah, that's good.
That was a very
We
good one.
discussed that one because we were having issues with this category, so when we voice called each other when I was walking home, we talked about that one a lot.
Yeah, and then so I wrote down that one, and I also wrote down Lilith gets to see the Ballisters.
Oh yeah.
I loved
that
that
was cute.
because it was like, you know, don't you want to do something exciting? And then it just cut to that, and then Liz was just so happy for her that she was getting to like see the Ballisters from the past.
I also wrote. I wrote that I like all our Minecraft skit jokes.
True.
Whenever we talked about Minecraft, those.
Based.
Our own
Yes.
jokes.
Also, favorite haiku. They changed drink. Okay, there we go.
They changed.
Change drink? I don't remember that one.
I gotta go.
Right.
I'm sorry.
Thank you for joining us, Chan.
Okay.
But there's
Yep, I hope-
gift baskets in the
There's
backstage.
cookies and punch by the door.
Yep.
I can't believe we didn't write down the haikus. That's so stupid of us. Why didn't we write down the haikus?
We could just go back. Someone could do that.
Okay, so we gotta make a haiku to close this video off in a minute.
Do we?
because
I don't think we did last time.
Well,
I
no,
mean, we
no.
can.
Last
Yeah,
time
I mean the haiku.
we didn't start doing haikus until season 2, so there wouldn't have been one in the
okay.
last awards.
There you go. Okay, then let's do a season two haiku. Or we could talk about our thoughts overall too. I guess if you guys wanted to do that.
Owl House Season 2 is a good example.
We kind of already
of a
did
show.
in the other episode, but it's fine.
Yeah, we did, but I'll just repeat myself because I'm good at that. Owl House Season 2 is an example of a show that kind of starts off a bit rough around the edges, trying to figure out what it can go forward with and what it can't, and throwing concepts at the wall for the most part, like with the school episodes. But Owl House Season 2 really pulls everything together, and especially as the season moves further along, you can feel the show getting tighter and tighter as it is more effective at its own storytelling mechanisms. It allows big moments room to breathe. It gives us plenty of time with the characters it wants to focus on. I feel like I've never seen a show transform from something that was kind of as a cartoon to, honestly, potentially one of the best show endings we will ever see. And I'm really looking forward to it, as this will be the final great of the cartoon era, in my opinion, especially with Amphibia over and Adventure Time Distant Lands having ended last year. So therefore, I think Owl House Season 2 was spectacular, and I'm really looking forward to seeing what they put forward in Season 3, especially as Dana Terrace said she was very excited at how much the limitations on Season 3 had caused them to be more creative with the episodes they were producing.
Alright, I've got something to say.
Go.
Are you ready?
Go.
King had a plot line. The Collector foreshadowed Season 3. Wait. When is Season 3?
Is that your haiku?
It's my haiku.
What was the second line?
The second one had like only five syllables.
Is it? No. The Collector foreshadowed.
Foreshadowed. Yeah. That's 7.
So King has a plotline. The Collector foreshadowed. When is season 3?
Man, I don't know. When is Season 3?
In 2 years from now, maybe.
I mean, that'll be fun though. Unless they drop it all in one day, which they might.
Oh god, we've been recording for another hour.
Yeah,
oh,
yeah, I know.
But bye everyone. Have a great time.
Yeah.
We're waiting for Owl House Season 3. Bye.
Tell us your rankings in the comments below. Okay, that's it. If you enjoyed this video and want to see more, please hit the like button so more viewers like you can find this video. Please consider subscribing to my channel with notifications on to see my future content, and follow me on other sites like TikTok and Twitter for special exclusives. Thank you very much for watching. Please stay tuned for more.